Well, we're gonna review Friday the 13th Part 4, which is actually called Friday the 13th The Final Chapter, because this is the very last one they ever made. Clearly not. So, as I'm gonna do for every movie of these I review, we got the Scream Factory box set, which is completely badass. I mean, I really like this. It's awesome. It's super cool. And we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the copy for Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which was not the final. But here is the cover art for it. So we got this here. I actually really like it. So for this movie, I feel like it sort of had a balance of two very different themes. We had this mom and this brother and sister duo. They had sort of like their own separate storyline where it was this endearing story of this little family just trying to sort of do their own thing. And then we have a group of these, I assume, high schoolers or college kids. We have this completely separate group of people. And it was a calling. I mean, I think every single one of them died. So they were definitely the Jason fodder for this movie. So I don't think that's a bad thing, having killer fodder in horror movies. It's actually interesting when movies have like a long kill list, because you get to see the creativity in the kills. You get to see various different ones, and I don't know, I just find that kind of stuff fascinating. So it was cool they added so much. It felt like 10 kills, and maybe it wasn't quite that much, but it sure felt like it. So for this one, I think the kills were actually pretty good. When it comes to these college, high school characters, they just weren't really likable. So you didn't really have any of them to root for. Like some of the other movies, there was a cute couple, or there were people that were actually really sweet or nice to each other. That just really wasn't the case with these characters. So they were all meant to be cannon fodder for a slasher movie. So like I said, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's not that, there was just no one to root for other than Jason Voorhees in these scenes. So like I said, even though these are the fodder that you didn't really have anything to connect with, we do have our separate characters that you do like and you do connect with. And so they pretty much go through all of the rest of these fodder characters until you get to the mother and this brother and sister. And then she met this guy. So there's kind of a group of four. The small group of four, that's sort of a separate group as opposed to the rest of the characters. And so by the time Jason Voorhees gets to this group of four, then it feels like they're real stakes. Because until this point, Jason Voorhees felt like he just didn't get much screen time at all, killing all the others. It's always kind of off screen, or you see his shadow, or you just see his arm, or you just see his hand with the weapon. You don't really get a lot of Jason Voorhees action. And I would say probably the first half of the movie, probably close to the first 2/3 of the movie. I could be wrong, that's just kind of how it felt. Just, I wasn't paying attention to the runtime as these things were happening. It's just how it felt to me. And so when you get to this group of four, there are real stakes because I actually do care about these characters. And some of them didn't make it. Half of them ended up getting axed, literally and figuratively. So anyway, we do have characters we finally care about. And I feel like the sister versus Jason Voorhees, I thought it was actually a good fight. I mean, it lasted a little while. She got some good hits in there. So that was actually enjoyable watching that fight. And the interesting part is Jason Voorhees dies, which we know doesn't happen. Maybe if you saw this in theaters for the first time, you assumed he died for real. But knowing there are so many more movies in the franchise, I knew it was fake. But for having the kid do it, I thought was a very interesting choice, because you don't see a lot of storylines where the kid goes super dark. We sort of had that in Halloween. But then the very next movie, when it happened, they sort of completely went away from that and just completely pivoted. So I'm hoping going into Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, I'm totally not reading the title from the box set over here. But I'm really hoping that the kids in the next one, that we get to see sort of that darker side of his character, because he's kind of picked on in this movie. I mean, he's the one that was creating these masks, so he sort of already has the vibes for if he were maybe not a killer, but if he was just a darker character, he can just start like maybe stalking people, or he just has sort of these awkward encounters with these different masks he has. So I think there's a lot of interesting storylines they could continue in the fifth. But who knows? Maybe I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe the fifth has a completely new set of characters entirely, and no characters from the fourth are in the fifth. But who knows? I'm excited. I'm actually really enjoying this franchise so far. As opposed to these, I've watched the first four for the 13th, and for Halloween I've seen the first five. And so comparing these franchises, because I consider I consider these two franchises to be two of the most iconic franchises in horror. Halloween's had its ups and downs as it moves on from the first one and the second one. But I feel like Friday the 13th has been, in my opinion, pretty consistent with the action and with the storylines and with just revving everything up and turning it up a notch. I feel like it's been really consistent as far as progressing from one movie to the next one. So I'm actually really enjoying this franchise so far. I did like this one. I don't know if it was my favorite one, because I really did like the first one, but I don't know. I haven't disliked a Friday the 13th movie so far. So I'm interested to see how far I get until I get to one I don't care for. But so far it hasn't happened yet. I liked the first four. I hope I like the first five, and we'll just see how far that lasts. So thanks for watching my review, guys. The franchise is awesome so far. Loving the box set, loving these movies, loving the characters. Jason Voorhees is clearly an iconic character, and the more movies I get through, I am seeing why. So I'm having a lot of fun with this. Thank you guys for watching my review. Keep it digging, and I'll see you next time.